You ask more questions than you give answers. You're the person who can turn a coffee break into a TED Talk by asking, but why? And then asking it again and again. People think smart people always have answers. In reality, the smartest people are serial questioners. Questions are scalpels. They cut through the fluff, dig into the meat, and expose the bones of an idea. You're not interrogating, you're exploring. And that curiosity isn't small talk, it's deep dive mode. Socrates made a career out of never shutting up with the questions, and his method still works. It's how you map the unknown. Your brain treats every conversation like an excavation site, brushing away dust until you hit something valuable. You're not trying to win the exchange, you're trying to expand it. And while it can make others squirm, nobody likes feeling like they're on a quiz show, it's also how breakthroughs happen. In your world, answers aren't endpoints. They're just launch pads for the next question, which is why talking to you feels less like chit-chat and more like a mental adventure where no one's quite sure where they'll end up, but they're leaving smarter than they came in. You take pauses before responding. You're not slow, you're buffering. People mistake silence for uncertainty, but in your case, it's quality control. While everyone else is spitting out the first thought that crash lands in their brain, you're running a full background check on yours. Smart people pause because they know words matter, and once they're out, you can't reel them back in. That tiny gap between hearing and speaking, that's where your brain spins the mental Rubik's Cube, lines up the colors, and only then hands you something worth saying. It's strategic, not shy. The pause is your editing suite, your mental filter, your intellectual seatbelt. Sure, in a world obsessed with quick takes and instant replies, it can make you seem hesitant, but hesitation is where precision lives. You'd rather speak once with clarity than 10 times with regret. And here's the kicker. Your pauses make other people lean in. They wait for you. They take your words more seriously because they can feel the thought behind them. You're not just answering a question, you're crafting a response. And in a noisy world, a measured voice doesn't just stand out, it commands the room. You listen more than you talk. You're not quiet because you've got nothing to say. You're quiet because you're busy downloading the entire situation in high definition. Smart people know listening isn't just waiting for your turn to speak, it's active data collection. Every word, pause, and eyebrow twitch gets filed in your mental archive. While others are rushing to jump in, you're mapping the landscape, spotting the gaps, and connecting dots no one else notices. It's like watching a chessboard where everyone else is focused on their next move, but you're tracking the whole game. Listening is your power move. It makes people underestimate you until you finally speak, and then your words hit like a precision strike. It's also why you tend to remember bizarre details, like the exact analogy someone used in a meeting 6 months ago or the tone shift in a single sentence. You're not passive, you're processing. And here's the twist. Good listening makes people open up more, which means you end up learning things they wouldn't tell someone who's just waiting to talk. You're not collecting gossip, you're collecting insight. And in a world addicted to noise, that makes you the rare person who hears the signal. You notice patterns others miss. You've got a brain like a crime scene investigator, except your evidence is scattered across conversations, behaviors, and half-forgotten details. While others see random dots, you're already drawing the connecting lines. It's not magic. It's observation plus memory on overdrive. You notice the joke someone repeats when they're nervous, the tiny changes in tone that signal they're holding something back, or the subtle market trend buried in boring reports. Your mind loves the bigger picture, but it gets there by obsessing over micro clues. This isn't about paranoia, it's about pattern recognition. The same skill that lets you catch typos at a glance can help you predict where a project, a relationship, or a problem is headed before anyone else sees it coming. And yes, it can be a curse. Once you spot a pattern, you can't unsee it. That's why you sometimes feel 3 steps ahead, stuck waiting for the rest of the room to catch up. People might call it overthinking. You call it foresight. Because in a world full of people staring at puzzle pieces, you're the one quietly holding the finished picture in your head. And you know exactly where the next piece goes. You choose your words carefully. You treat language like it's loaded, because it is. While other people throw words around like confetti, you're more surgical. Every phrase you use has been weighed, trimmed, and fitted for purpose. This isn't about being slow or overly formal. It's about precision. Words shape how people see you, how they feel about what you're saying, and even whether they remember it at all. Smart people know sloppy language leads to sloppy thinking, So you take the extra beat to swap thing for process, problem for challenge, or lucky for strategic. You're not trying to sound impressive. You're trying to be accurate. And accuracy earns trust. People notice when you speak with intention, even if they can't pinpoint why it lands differently. The irony? This careful approach often means you talk less, but when you do, people lean in. Your words don't just fill silence, they build bridges, diffuse tension, or spark action. In a culture where everyone's talking over each other, you're the rare voice that cuts through because you know the difference between having something to say and just saying something. You're not verbose, you're deliberate, and deliberate always wins. You stay calm under pressure. When the room heats up, you don't. While everyone else is hitting panic mode, your pulse barely moves. It's not that you don't feel stress. You've just learned how to keep it from hijacking your brain. Smart people know that clear thinking and chaos don't mix. So you switch into analysis mode. Instead of spiraling, you're scanning. What's the problem? What's the leverage point? What's the smartest next move? It's like you have an internal don't freak out switch that buys you time while others are burning theirs. Staying calm doesn't mean staying still. It means acting with precision instead of thrashing around and making things worse. This is why people turn to you when things go sideways. Your composure is contagious. It steadies the group, makes the options clearer, and turns a crisis into something that can actually be solved. And here's the bonus. When you keep your cool, you also keep your credibility. Anyone can lead in smooth waters. It's the person who can steer through the storm without losing the wheel that people remember. You're not unshakable because you're fearless. You're unshakable because you know panic is never the smartest play. You admit when you're wrong and change your mind. For a lot of people, admitting they're wrong feels like handing over their crown. For you, it's just part of the game. Smart people know that clinging to a bad idea doesn't make it right. It just makes you stubborn and wrong. So when new evidence shows up, you don't dig in, you pivot. Changing your mind isn't a weakness, it's intellectual agility. It's proof that you care more about truth than ego. That's rare, and people notice. It means you're willing to update your mental software instead of running buggy code forever. And here's the kicker. It's not just about logic. Admitting fault builds trust. It tells people you value accuracy over appearances. Sure, it stings in the moment, but that sting is growth in real time. You're not afraid to say, I got that wrong, because you know those 4 words can reset a conversation, rebuild credibility, and even strengthen relationships. The world is full of people defending outdated positions like their lives depend on it. You're different. You know a flexible mind is a strong one, and you'd rather be right tomorrow than just feel right today. You're comfortable with complexity. Where most people crave neat answers, you're fine living in the messy middle. The world isn't black and white to you. It's layered, tangled, and sometimes contradictory. And that doesn't scare you. It intrigues you. Smart people know reality rarely fits into tidy boxes. You're willing to hold 2 opposing ideas in your head without exploding. You can navigate the it depends scenarios, the exceptions to the rule, the gray areas where the real thinking happens. This comfort with complexity makes you patient with big decisions and skeptical of oversimplified solutions. You'd rather wrestle with the nuance than accept a half-truth just to wrap things up. It's why you can sit through uncomfortable debates, parse tricky data, or make sense of a problem that has no obvious fix. Complexity isn't chaos to you, it's a system waiting to be understood. And while others rush for easy answers, you're mapping the terrain, finding the patterns, and spotting the levers that matter. In a culture addicted to certainty, you stand out because you're not afraid of the unknown. You know the most interesting truths live in the complexity, and you're more than willing to go in after them. That's it. 8 hidden signs of high intelligence that don't need a resume or an IQ score to prove it. These aren't flashy tricks, they're the subtle ways smart shows up. Quietly, consistently, and without fanfare. Recognize yourself here, own it, and double down. Liked what you heard? Hit that like button, subscribe for more, and share in the comments which signs you've mastered and which you're still building. Better brain days.